Hi guys, it's Tony. Tonight we'll be covering how 20 meters can make the hell of a lot of difference between your Mavic Mini returning home and actually landing exactly where it is. Cover that shortly. Firstly, we're on the DJI homepage. Now, great place for a bit of information here. They've got the apps, the Android ISO, got their Mac. Now down here they've actually got all their manuals. So they've got their Mavic Mini Quick Start in the box, more combo in the box, safety and guidelines, two-way charging hub, propeller user guide, so great information there if you need to do a propeller change. Mavic Mini 360 propeller guard, we'll be covering that in this video as well. Mavic Mini user manual and the Mavic Mini release notes. So we'll head over now. We're going to have a look at the return home function. Now there are three functions for the return home function. There's the smart return home. If the GPS signal is sufficiently strong, smart RTH will be used to bring the aircraft back to the home point. And then we've got low battery RTH. Low battery RTH is triggered when the intelligent flight battery is depleted to the point that safe return of the aircraft may be affected. Return home or land the aircraft immediately when prompted. Now this is a very important one to consider because they are a electronic smart battery. They can actually determine the speed that they're going out, the wind that they're going out in, the tailwind or headwind. In one instance, I actually flew my drone out about 2 kilometers with a considerable tailwind. At the point that I got the low battery return home function, it was actually about 70% battery power left. Now, if I had carried on, that smart battery has determined that it needs that 70% to return home with the headwind. So I actually activated the return home function, and by the time it actually come in and landed, it was down to about 10% battery power. So that's just an indication that if the battery's telling you that it needs to return home, you need to be pretty prompt on doing that. Now the next one is the fail-safe RTH. If the home point was successfully recorded and the compass is functioning normally, fail-safe RTH automatically activates after the remote controller signal is lost for more than 11 seconds. Now I've actually tried that myself. I've turned the controller off and timed it. It was pretty close to 11 seconds and that actually returned home, so the function works. Other RTH scenarios: if the video link signal is lost during the flight while the remote controller is still able to control the movements of the aircraft, there will be a prompt to initiate RTH. RTH can be cancelled. Return home procedure. So this procedure is for the three above: the smart RTH, low battery RTH, and fail-safe RTH. Number one, the home point is recorded. Always very important that when you start up that you make sure your home point is recorded, and that if you do move with your controller from your home point, make sure you update your home point. Now the number two, RTH is triggered. Number three, if the altitude is lower than 20 meters, the aircraft ascends to the RTH altitude or 20 meters and then adjusts its orientation. Now, if you've actually set that, I think the default is 20 meters, but if you've set that in your return home function at the return home height, that could be different than the 20 meters. If the altitude is higher than 20 meters, the aircraft adjusts its orientation immediately. Number four, if the aircraft is further than 20 meters from the home point when the RTH procedure begins, it ascends to the present RTH altitude and flies to the home point at a speed of 8 meters per second. If the current altitude is higher than the RTH altitude, the aircraft flies to the home point at the current altitude. Now this is the big important one here. I've actually noticed on a few videos people have sort of come into a bit of grief, especially on their first or second time out, and they get a bit panicky and don't realise what they're doing, and things turn bad on them. If the aircraft is less than 20 metres from the home point when the RTH procedure begins, it lands immediately. I'll read that again. If the aircraft is less than 20 metres from the home point when the RTH procedure begins, it lands immediately. Say for an example, you've got your brand new Mavic Mini out, first time flying it, you decide to take it out in your backyard and try out the RTH feature when it's up above a tree or up above your house, and if it's not within, or if it's within 20 metres, it will actually land immediately. It won't come back to that home point. Something to keep in mind. And now another thing we'll have a quick brief look at is the guards. Now if you've actually purchased the Flymore combo, it comes with the prop guards. If we come down the bottom here, they've got a bit about the installation of them. Now, as it says here, a bit of a warning, the weight of the aircraft exceeds 250 grams after the Mavic Mini 360 propeller guards are installed. Make sure you understand and comply with your local laws and regulations if required. Have obtaining corresponding approval and clearance from related government agencies before flight. After installing the propeller guards, hover the aircraft until a DJI fly indicates that the payload has been detected. Now you can actually turn that payload function on in your settings as well. And the payload mode is enabled. If the status of the payload mode in the DJI fly does not match the actual situation, turn it on or off manually in the app. After installing the propeller guards, the maximum flight speed, no wind, is limited to 18 miles per hour, 29 kilometers an hour, and the aircraft's max service ceiling above sea level is 1,500 meters. Maintain visual line of sight of your aircraft even when using the propeller guards. To ensure flight safety, the flight height will be limited to no more than 120 meters and the distance of no more than 100 meters. Now the combo pack, Flymore combo pack that I actually purchased, that come with the prop guards, I've actually used them. Now I can tell you they're definitely big wind sails outside. Any wind at all, they'll actually get sort of caught in the wind. I've actually noticed a few people putting out YouTube videos of fly-offs for that situation. Wind's got up, or they've actually taken them up to a bit of a higher altitude and it's got caught in the wind. Now as it states here, the speed is limited to 18 miles per hour, so even putting it into sports mode won't help you there. Now they are a great thing to use in your house if you can put up with the noise of the Mavic Mini flying around. Purpose of them, I think, was designed for inside use or in tight environments. I notice a lot of people in YouTube videos getting out and squeezing between trees and under logs and things like that. And that circumstance would be perfect for that type of environment. But just be very wary of the distance and any wind, because wind definitely grabs them and takes them away. If you just like what you've seen, it'd be great if you become my next subscriber. I've only got 37 subscribers, so if you'd like to be number 38, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Cheers guys, and have a terrific day.